2. Right, here we go. So let's get onto the mat, everybody. How exciting. I'm really looking forward to this today. So let's go tiptoes and heels. Tiptoes and heels. Tiptoes and heels. And starting to get quite skilled with tiptoes and heels, you might be able to coordinate enough to bring the hands in at the same time, either with a massage, having that rhythm still in the background of your mind as you work the hands. There's a little bit like trying to dance with your feet and your arms at the same time. If you want a little bit of a lighter touch, don't forget that you can also gently stroke or outline. Yeah. Either way, it all works to wake up those feet and hands. So once you've sort of done what you need to do, it might be warm, it can be cold, and you just bring the hands and feet to stillness. Take a breath. And as you breathe out, bringing that awareness, as little raindrops of awareness drop down into the hands and feet. And you might find, if you've been doing this a while, that automatically your jaw begins to kind of come with you. And of course, you can allow that. If that hasn't happened, or it hasn't happened strongly enough for you and you can't really feel it, then gentle stroking, tapping. Or my favorite at the moment, which is the face yoga stuff. Circling of the mouth, so you pout, circle the mouth. And the half smile. This is my favorite because this one helps to tone up the cheeks and stops your jowls. I'm getting to look like my mother. She's got these lovely little jowls that sit here, and I'm thinking, oh, if I do this, and it has actually worked. So very happy with that. Lots of half smiles. Getting really good at these. When I first did them, I could hardly control it. Anyway, after all of that, you can certainly feel your mouth. So take a breath and be aware of the mouth going into that dribble mode, the hands and the feet. So you're just feeling it all together, all at once. Oh, I've got another one. Nice. So let's start with our sun salutation. I'm going to bring the arms up and feel ourselves reach up towards the ceiling. Let your bottom be like that sack of potatoes and feel those drawstrings really pull up the sides. And then open the breastbone, pull on the sashes, and as you breathe in and look up, push that breastbone forward, breathing in. And then as you breathe out, forward bend. Letting the head go, tucking the chin. In breath, we're going to look up and flatten the back. And again, remember to drop that breastbone. And as you breathe out, coming back down. Let one leg go back. Coming into the dragon pose, so feeling like that leg is being dragged behind. Leaning into this front leg also gets you a really good stretch in the groin here. And then as you breathe in, reaching. So the lower half of you is sinking down towards the earth, the upper half is reaching. And then we bring the hands to the floor. And again, depending on how you feel today, whether you're going to do this plank pose with the knees on the ground, just leaning over, or tucking the toes under, lifting the knees off the floor. What you want to feel is the heart beginning to accelerate, to feel it rise. And once you feel that slight heat, bring the palms together, forehead on the ground, and we're going to come into a gentle bottom roll. Okay, so just see that gentle bottom roll. I'm just having a quick look on the screen, make sure you're all with me. Just moving into a nice rhythm. Find the rhythm. It might be a song or a rhyme. Anything at all, just find that rhythm and move to it. And you'll feel a little response. Be as quiet as a nice deep breath. And we're just going to bring that to stillness when we can. Take a breath. Feeling that heaviness coming into the lower back, sliding down the legs to the feet. And I'm going to bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Breathing in, squeeze, look up, push that breastbone forward as you breathe. Not physically push it, just let the breath do it. And then, using the core, lifting up and coming back. Feeling the backs of the arms, stretching out from the hands. And feel that stretch coming right into the upper back. Now, if you can feel the tightness up there in the upper back and shoulders, I do recommend here you can do a little bit of a rib cage rock. So again, it's a tiny move, just like the bottom roll. Using the hands to manage it, just rock yourself from side to side. This will be a good foundation for what we're doing today. And again, when there's a response, which might be quite quickly, I'm going to stop and feel that stretch deepen. Bringing yourself up onto hands and knees and bringing the hands a little bit closer in. And tuck the toes under and bring ourselves up and over into our downward dog. And again, a couple of things that you can do in downward dog. I quite like to do a slight S to C with my spine, focusing on the breastbone to loosen that up. But of course, if you've got a sore leg, you might just bend the knees and reach with the hands and circle the head. See how it feels. Breathing. And trying to relax. So always having that little moment of relaxation if you've done any movement in the downward dog. And then we're going to bring whatever leg went back first, that leg is going to come forward. Again, we're going to lean in. Feel that back leg like that dragon's tail behind you, coming up, pushing on that knee. Feeling the lower half of the body sink as the upper half reaches, breathing in. As the hands come onto the floor, there's this little trick that I have been mentioning recently where you push the floor away from you for a moment so the legs can relax a little bit more. And then bringing this back leg to meet the front. So we're coming into forward fold. Let the head go. Grab hold of the elbows. And again, another little opportunity here for a rib cage rock. Slightly different target here, but still works really well for those shoulders, which we're going to be working with a little bit today. We can't do it for too long, unfortunately, because of the position, but anything helps. So just bringing it to stillness. And then we're going to breathe in, look up, go, breathe in and really push that breastbone forward with the breath. Keep it open as you come back down. Let the head drop. And then we're going to gently uncurl. Nice and slowly. As we come up to stillness, we're going to reach up and back, breathing in. Again, use the breath to get that breastbone open. And then we're going to come and we're going to find this central line. So bringing the hands together and drawing a line down the center of the body. And we're going to do this a few times again today because we're going to really need it today. So when you get to here, turn the hands around and continue to draw the line down the center of the body. Breathing in, reaching up Now you might imagine that you've got paint on your thumb and you're drawing a line. You can literally visualize that line as you draw it. And for some reason my line's been pink all week. Or if you're not also tuned into visualization, you might feel it. So as you bring the hands up, you might think, oh, my thumb is like scouring just a tiny little dip through the center of the body so that I really know that it's there. And then the final one, bring the hands. And this time, as we land on the breastbone, we're just going to close our eyes and really feel that line right in the center. Take a breath with the line, and then we can massage our lovely thymus gland. And just see how you are when you land. Oh, okay, let's bend the knees and open up the legs so that we're bending down. We're going to get this lymphatic moving a little bit more, but now with this awareness of the central line. So as you go from one side to another, just be aware that you're turning towards one side and then the other. And then we're going to come down a little bit. See how that turning happens. Is it still even from one side to another? And then coming up, reaching up. Is it still even? And working your way down. So again, just landing this awareness in the center of the body for now will help us as we move our way up and down. And when we get a bit dizzy or we feel like we've had enough, we're going to rest in the pyramid pose. So normally in the pyramid pose, we really focus on the lines of connection of the pyramid itself. So from the feet, through the leg, to the hand, to the arms, and up into the neck. But now we're just going to have a look at the line that comes from the neck straight down the back to create our central line. Take a breath. And then as you breathe out, turn to look. And try and turn on that central line. Come back to the center. And as you turn, try and feel that central line turning. Back to the center. And as you come up to standing, bring the feet in. We're here. We've landed finally. So left and right is what we're doing today. And I just want to point out that when we first do left and right, we have no language associated with it. And that's how you know, you truly know your left and rights, when you can feel them. Language then comes later. So if you're one of these people that gets a bit flustered when somebody says turn left, turn right, that's because you need to use your head to work it out. If you know it in your body, when you say the word right, it lights up and you just know. Okay, and that's what we're aiming for at the end of today. So I'm not going to use the left and right language today until the very end. Okay, so we're just going to feel into the two sides of the body, and we're going to talk about different ways of doing that. Okay, but first, let's establish a little bit more succinctly. We've got the central line. We're going to really establish the two sides now in our mind with a few of the reflex moves. So we'll start with this one, which is two arms up. Okay, so here we are in the central. Okay, and then we've got one arm forward, one arm back, looking at the thumb behind. Good, two arms up. Other arm forward, other arm back, look at the hand. Two arms up. One arm forward, one arm back. Getting into a rhythm now, two arms up. Other arm forward, other arm back. Now, land your eyes on your thumb, and now, as you turn from one side to the other, and I'm just going to demonstrate this, I want you to imagine that you've drawn a chalk line through the center of your room that you are now following with your eyes. So don't look up as you bring the arms up, basically. Look through the line to the thumb behind. Two arms up, one arm forward, one arm back. Again, following the line with your eyes. It's quite tricky. Your eyes do want to go everywhere, but now when your arms start to ache, we have no choice. We're going to bring them by our sides and just feel them orangutan, like notice this feeling. So we're resetting the pattern here in the shoulders into a bit more of a relaxed mode. So it's good to note it. How does it feel? Okay, so the next one also involves a little bit of eye tracking, but it's a bit of a smaller window. One hand is saying hello to you, one hand is saying hello to me. I've got my eyes on the middle nail of the hand that's furthest away. And then I'm going to swap. Swap. And I'm tracking from one side to the other. From one side to the other. One side to the other. One side. Just see, do your eyes want to go after a little while? Does it get tiring? Do they want to go somewhere else? Anywhere but? Good. And of course, only limited time where your eyes get a bit fuzzy. And at that point, remember your feet, hands, and face. So if you start to feel at all fuzzy, headachy, a little bit blown up in your head, feet, hand, and face ground you. So have a moment to feel them. Even rub them, tap them, whatever it is you need to take that self-care moment. Okay, next one, we're going to look at dominant sides. So when we are stressed and our brain disconnects, we tend to go into a dominant side of our brain. If it's right brain, it's your more emotional. And if it's left brain, it's a little bit more logical, rational. That's why never make a decision when you're under stress, because it'll be influenced either by your extreme emotion or by extreme rationality. So I've got my right hand just because I'm right-handed, but it's your dominant hand. And we're going to start to draw a figure of 8 on its side. And the central line of this figure of 8 is roughly level with the line in the center of my body. Okay, so this line is getting into a nice rhythm. And then I'm going to get my non-dominant hand to follow. So I can still feel that this hand is leading and the other hand is following. It doesn't have to be a precise following, just a feeling. And then my dominant hand is going to come to the side and I'm going to leave the other hand going. Again, figure of 8, central line. Just really feel it, 2 sides. Now, this is where we're going to switch dominance. This hand is now going to become the leader. So think about that before you do anything. This is the leader and then the other hand follows. 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 Lovely. And then, of course, the arms are going to get tired now. Let's just hang them by the sides. Take a breath in. Again, feel your feet, hands, and face. Like I keep saying, these are quite neuro-rich. So we need to keep doing this self-care, this bringing yourself back into the body if it's beginning to be a bit too much. All right, so for the next ones, you can sit down. I'm going to stay close to the camera so that you can see me clearly. We're going to have a look at this connection. Okay, so imagine I'm sitting down and I've got my hands on my lap. And when I do this in chair yoga, we're kind of like leaning on our hands a little bit like this. Okay, so you could be doing that. And we kind of experience this a little bit in pyramid pose. But this time, all I want you to do is to turn and look to one side and just notice how the opposite elbow goes a bit weak. Okay? So you're leaning on your arms. Let me just demonstrate what it looks like on the floor. So I might have my hands on the ground, I might have them here, but I've got my elbows straight and all I'm doing is turning to look one way and just noticing A, that my shoulder wants to come with me on this side, and B, that this elbow here, and I'm exaggerating, it's not as much as that, is bending. Then I come to the middle and then I turn and I can, if the arms aren't straight, you won't feel it. So make sure the arms are straight. Babies do it on the floor, so if you're flexible enough, you can do that. And just feel that opposite elbow go. Let's do it one more time. Feeling that connection between turning the head. And this is how it starts. This is how the cross aspect of the left and right brain begins. Feeling that cross connection. Okay, so the next one, you don't have to lean or anything. We're just going to try and keep the shoulders straight and just look to the side. Now, when we get to looking to all the way to the side, I want you to find a point in your peripheral vision to look at. So, for example, I can see my plant here. That's what I'm looking at. And then I'm going to track through the line that I drew earlier all the way over to the other side. Find a point to look at there. That's my lamp. And then all the way through to the other side. So this is the bit that happens next. So first, everything's connected, shoulders and arms move according to the head, and then the head becomes independent of the shoulders as it moves. And you can do that as many times as your eyes will let you. Then, and we're going to get finer and finer tuned with this. And if you're not sure that you won't move your head, you can hold it, just so you know. And then I'm going to just look with my eyes. So I'm going to bring my eyes and look as far over to my peripheral vision as I can see. Find a spot. Go through the central line and look the other way. Through the central line. Through the central line. Through the central line. So really establishing in the body here that we have two sides. One side and then the other, which we are not yet naming. When you get to the end of it, just relax your eyes and feel your feet, hands and face. Just have a moment to let the nervous system settle. It's a lot of very rich neural work here. Lovely. So the final one, this is a little bit more refined now, is with the eyes closed. I want you to picture a window with one of those crosses in the middle of it. Okay, and we're going to find the edge of the window. We're going to look at that underneath our eyelids, and we're going to take our eyes across that central wooden bit to the other side and back. All the time being aware that we're crossing that line in the middle, still crossing. And then center. This is again, that's quite hard work. Looking up and down. So we're going to look up and down now from that window, just because of the next exercise, which is, it requires a little bit of up and down. So let's find that part of the window where we're looking up and down just a couple of times, just to familiarize ourselves. That's actually another reflex, but we need it here, back to the center. And then I want you to find the corner of your window. And we're going to go diagonally from one corner to the other through the central line, up and back, up and back, up and back. And then find the center, relax for a moment, take a breath, and then do the other side. So the other corner, top to bottom, top to bottom. And then again, just relax your eyes when you're done. Take a breath. Notice if your jaw has got tense. And rub your hands so that we can get a little bit of heat to the eyes, because they've worked really hard and they deserve a little bit of a relaxation. Just let the hands rest. Take a breath. Feel the heat transfer from the warm hands into the area around the eyes as much as the eyes themselves. Relax your jaw, the neck, the shoulders, and breathe. Lovely. Now, some of you know, we start off with this bilateral awareness, this side and that side, which I hope we have, very well established now. Let's do a little bit of yoga around it before we go to crossing the line. Okay, so crossing the line is where the communication improves between these two sides, but we need to start with this bilateralness. So a pose like this one, one leg straight, one leg bent. Reaching, coming into a forward bend is a really good one, because as you stretch, you can distinctly feel that one side of the body is doing one thing. So feel into that. So this is where we now bring what we've just learned into the body, and we can begin to feel it. So we can feel the straight leg side feeling one thing, and then we can take ourselves across the midline and to feel what the other side of the body is feeling. Completely different. Take a breath. Okay, and then we'll just swap the legs over and do the same thing on the other side. Feeling it, so we're bringing it into feeling. This side of the body is feeling like this. Cross the midline, and the other side of the body is feeling like that. We can bring our a bit of a deeper awareness into this by following what I call loops. So depending on your flexibility, you can either hold the knee here or hold the foot. You can either have the leg straight or the other leg bent, or if you're sitting on a chair, obviously you can do it either way. But we're going to create a loop here. So what is a loop? A loop is an awareness where you are taking your attention from the hand up the arm, bringing it down the spine, to the hip, up the leg, to the foot, to touch the hand. And you're literally tracing, and I'm doing it with my finger here. I'm slightly out to the side for the camera, but you don't have to be so out to the side if you don't want to. But you don't have to do it with your finger. I want you to see, can you feel it? So do it internally, feel your hand. This is a bit like the game, you know, the foot is connected to the ankle bone song. It's a bit like that. So connect your hand to your arm, to the shoulder, to the side of the body, to the hip, to the leg, to the foot, and go around one more time. Create a loop of awareness. Once you've been around a few times, you might find that you can feel the entire loop all at once. Obviously, do it for as long as you're able to, because we're going to do the other side. So again, starting at the hand. And remember, you don't have to do it with the foot. You can just do it at the knee. It's still a loop. And it's a lot easier loop to do. Okay, so start at the hand, the arm, the shoulder, down the side of the body, the hip, the leg, the foot, and around. Create that loop. Maybe you can feel the whole loop at once. And then relax. Down. Okay, so with any luck, as we sit here, we're really aware now of the two sides of the body and the fact that we have this central line. And then, of course, in order to get the communication, the connectivity, we need to start crossing this line. Okay, so if you're not feeling too tired, you can do this sitting on a chair as well. We're going to come back to standing because we're going to do this lovely exercise, opposite hand to opposite knee, which is a really good trainer for this cross. Always be aware of the central line, opposite hand to opposite knee, opposite hand. Now, it shouldn't feel too difficult because we know now, you know, we have two sides, and now we're crossing the line. I'm crossing it with my legs, I'm crossing it with my hands, I'm crossing it with my legs, crossing it with my hands, okay? Now, when the two sides of the body, the central line and the crossing over isn't very clear in our neurology, we kind of tend to rely on our eyes. So just notice, are you looking in order to be able to do it? What happens when you close your eyes? Yeah? All right, so what happens when we go behind where we can't see at all? So opposite hand to opposite foot. Now again, if you're sitting down and you're not doing it, you can just reach behind you and pretend to create those loops. You could just be sitting in a chair. We did this in the chair yoga this week. You know, but I can't see. Now what happens if I close my eyes? I have to rely on another part of my brain that isn't my thinking brain. I can't think myself into this. Now, if we start to speed up, let's do front. 1, 2, 3, 4, and behind. 1, 2. Think crossing the line. 3, 4. Speeding up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and behind. 1, 2, 3, 4. Faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Behind. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Behind. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Behind. 1, 2, 3, 4. And stop. Now just notice that you had to drop into something there that wasn't thinking. That if you started thinking, you lost it. Yeah? You kind of knew that. You had to feel it across the body. Okay? So let's use this principle in some of our stretching now. Sorry to stand you up and sit you down again, but this is there's only one way of doing that. You can do it sitting down, but it's a lot harder. So let's do something really straightforward. Let's have one leg straight and one leg over the other one. So we know that the leg has crossed the midline. And we do all of this stuff in yoga all the time. We're just bringing our awareness to it now. And then we want the arm to cross the midline. Really deliberate with it, and we've got a lovely twist to look over here. Now we can add the eyes. So sometimes I do mention this quite often. I do say, look over your shoulder. And I don't mean literally look over your shoulder. I mean close your eyes and find the edge of that window. And breathe. Then we're going to come back to the center. Crossing the leg. Being very deliberate. I'm crossing over the midline with my leg. I'm crossing over the midline with my arm. And I'm going over to the side. And then I'm looking over the shoulder and finding that peripheral point in my window as I stretch, as I breathe. And I stretch. Just making sure that both the leg and the arm have crossed the midline. I'm just looking quickly at the screen, seeing just a few of you going, not having the arm across. A couple of you, yeah? Crossing the line with the arm as well. Okay, don't worry, because we're going to do another exercise here, which will hopefully establish this crossness as well. We're going to tuck one leg under. And again, you don't have to bring it to the other leg to the foot. You can create a loop. We're going to create a cross loop with the knee, but there is this lovely pose here that you can have if you want to, where you stretch out the leg. I'll just go slightly sideways so you can see what that looks like. And then this arm is here. So that's the full pose. So again, you can look at the thumb, but then you can also start to feel. So you might be here with your knee, but we're still going to feel that loop, starting at the hand, up the arm, down the spine. Now, as you go down the spine, notice you have to go across it to the opposite hip, up the leg, to the foot, and create that loop. Really establishing the loop with a few breaths around it, and maybe at the end being able to feel the whole loop until obviously you've had enough, or your arm, your leg, or whatever's had enough. And then we swap the other side. So leg tucks under, grab and hold, whatever it is you've decided to do. The arm can go behind. And again, just feeling the loop. That's the more important than doing the stretch itself, is feeling it. Up the arm, hand up the arm, down the spine, crossing over the midline to the hip, up the leg, to the foot, and round we go. Breathing it around, and then establishing the whole loop maybe before we finish. Great. Yes, just see, that's quite refreshing. The feeling I get on my nervous system is like a, just had a cold shower and I've woken up from a bit of a stupor. Now, when we do circling, these opportunities are there throughout all of our yoga classes. Yeah, we are going through the midline to one side, through the midline to the other side. Yeah, so there's always this opportunity to tune into the two sides of the body, tune into the midline, especially if this is the one, this is the reflex that you can feel you need to do a bit more of. Maybe you feel a little bit, frustrated with it, or you know that you're not very coordinated, or that you have to rely on the L on your finger. This is me a few years ago to know which was left and right, and to really look at my finger, my L, to know it was left. Or I used to do this other thing where I pretend to write with my hand, and then I'd go, oh yeah, that's my right. That's how I know. Now I feel it. Somebody what happens when you're not very good is this, right? So you might identify, you're in the car and somebody says, turn left now. And you don't have time to work out which is your left and right with your head. So you just see it turning and you turn into it. And 50-50 chance that it's the wrong one. Yeah? So you've just looked, you've relied on your eyes, and you've just turned, usually the wrong way. At least for me. So, do sort of begin to, the whole lesson today is about beginning to understand that this left and right business is all feeling it in the body first. That's how a child does it. They have no language with it initially. Okay. So I'm happy that we've done that. I just want to do a couple of things, a little catch up. Let's do a little bit of cat and cow. So cat and cow is really good again for establishing that midline. You don't have to do cat and cow on all fours. Remember, you can do it sitting as well. So every time that we flex the spine into the S and the C, we're establishing a little bit more clearly the central line. And we'll be looking at this a little bit more next week with a slightly different emphasis. This week, the midline is about midline. Next week, it'll be about understanding the separation between lower and upper body and that ability to coordinate the two. So to be doing one thing with the legs and something else with the arms, and actually getting away with doing that. Yeah. So it's a nice opportunity to stretch the spine there for now. And you might feel, you might want to feel like, oh, can I feel into my right side? Yes. Can I feel into my left? Yes. I'm giving it names now because we're coming to the end of the class, and I did say that I would towards the end, because now we can feel it a little bit better. And of course, you've got exercises like this one. You can feel the line through the center, crossing that midline. There's all sorts of yoga poses that really bring this in. So in any yoga class that you're attending or even teaching, you can begin to be aware of it. Circling the tail, what am I doing? I'm crossing the line, going around one side, crossing the line, going around the other side. And if you're quite visual, you might actually see the circle with the line through it as you go around. So lots of different ways. Same, you can stay in the same position, same with the head. So circling, feeling that central line back to the middle. And when we come to do next in a few weeks' time, all of this information will be really needed. Changing direction, making sure you go round both ways. Always good. Let's just sit back in our child pose for a moment. And just feeling the two sides of the body. I think we've established really well the two sides of the body. We've crossed across the body. We know it well. We can feel it. And we're going to come down after that and lie down. So coming towards the end of this class, just a reminder that, after the relaxation, I will be just turning off the computer that you can stay. So you might want to, grab your pillows, blankets, warm things so you don't have to get moving. You can stay for as long as you need. Sometimes a 5-minute yoga nidra is enough, and at other times you just need the 25 minutes. The other day I needed 45. I didn't mean to. I was in the sauna. I was doing a relaxation line, one of those things. I said, I'll have a 5-minute yoga nidra, and I started. And next thing I know, 45 minutes had gone by. And it was just what I needed. So bringing my arms over first, okay? So we're coming back a little bit to some of the stuff that we did last time, where we were moving really slowly into position. So as you bring the arms up and over, be really aware of that slow movement. Now, if you need to rest your arms on something like we did before because they won't land on the ground comfortably, then grab a couple of cushions and place them there. Okay. And then we're going to bring the feet together and the knees together. And we're going to just come into the one that we did last time, which was this slight side to side, slow pre-birth move, which unbeknownst to you was actually the foundation for what we're doing today. So without these slow pre-birth moves, we wouldn't have the foundation of left and right. That's why they're so neuro-rich, these ones. So we're going from one side really slowly, moving. Remember, it's as slow as you can go. Now, what I want you to add to this now is that as you're moving towards one side, doesn't matter which, the opposite arm is going to start to slowly reach as well. Slowly reach. So you can feel the crossness of it. Where the legs come back up to the middle, relax that arm. And then as they drop over to the other, I'm going a bit too quick, but you get the meaning. When they go over to the other side, the other arm is going to start to reach. Slowly. As slow as the legs are moving, that slowly the arm is reaching. Relax the arm, where the legs begin to move to the center. Let's do that one more time, because you might not have done it enough, not realizing, and now you're a bit lopsided. I certainly feel a bit lopsided. As the legs fall to the side, the opposite arm is reaching equally slowly, moving at the same rate. Really gently resting it as it comes back to the center. Can't really rush these. Have to go so slow that it's almost frustrating. And we're into letting the arm drop down onto the floor when you come back to the middle. And hopefully we've got both arms a little bit more relaxed. It's a really good exercise, that one, for stretching out areas that are difficult to reach, especially for frozen shoulder. Let's do a little bridge pose. Let's bring the soles of the feet onto the floor and gently lift up through that central line. Getting a nice stretch there. Breathing in, enjoying the fact that we are flooding the thyroid here, knowing that this is going to give us those happy hormones. As you come down, reach evenly with both arms and come down slowly so that you can feel the parts of you that are tense. And when you get to that tense part, give it a little rock. Use your feet to rock out the tension you can feel. This is where we can see really clearly how the Moro reflex, a tight diaphragm, can really be affecting the reflex above it, one of which is this ATNR that we've done today. Walking all the way down if you want, relaxing the arms, seeing how they feel. At this point, they're probably quite heavy, so you might just want to sort of drag them rather than lift them to the sides. Ready for our floor twist. So as the foot comes onto the knee, really notice that you're crossing the line with the legs over to one side, and the head is rolling over to the other side. As you bring the hand to the knee, if you can reach or want to, you can create a loop. And you can follow it in your mind's eye if you wish. And of course, there's a lovely stretch to be had here. Nice deep breaths into the ribs, relaxing the shoulders, orangutaning them, letting go of the jaw. And as you come out of this, you want to make sure that you are aware that you're coming back to the center, back to the central line first. And then as you bring the foot to the other knee, that you're crossing the line. The head crossing in the opposite direction. Placing the hand on the knee if you wish, and feeling that loop that you've created. might realize that it's easier to establish the loop on one side than it is on the other. Or that you got distracted on one side more than you did on the other. And you're going to come back to the middle. And as we place the hands beneath us to our final pose, again, just really conscious of the fact that we have these two sides, our elbows tuck in, and that you're going to stretch and open the midline out in the fish pose. Enjoying as you bring the head back down, you release the arms and the body sinks into the floor. Just enjoy that lovely flush of relaxation hormones. Feel them travel down both sides of the body. And hopefully your blankets and pillows or whatever it is you need, bolsters beneath the knees are not too far away, and you can, without too much effort, get yourself warm and comfortable. And of course, today's relaxation will involve words. And here is where we will begin to name our body. Is spend a moment finding your right thumb. Find your right thumb, first finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. Feel the palm of the hand, the back of the hand. Notice the whole of your right hand, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder. Let your attention travel down the right breastbone, the right side of your rib cage, and the right waist and pelvis, hip, all the way down the right leg to land on your right big toe. Feeling that toe. First toe. Second toe. Third toe, little toe. The right sole of the foot, top of the foot, ankle. The whole of the right foot. The calf, the shin, the knee, the thigh, front, back and sides, and the right hip, the right buttock, up the right side of your back to the right shoulder blade, right side of your neck, jaw, right ear, cheek, around the right eye, temple, brow, and head. So you can feel the whole of the right side of the head, the right arm and leg, the right side of the torso, and you can feel into the whole of the right side of it. Feeling the whole of the right side of the body. And then feeling your attention deliberately cross the midline and come down to find the left thumb. Feel the left thumb. First finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. The palm of the hand, the back of the hand, the wrist. The left lower arm and elbow. The left upper arm and shoulder. Feel your attention begin to come down the left breastbone, the left side of the rib cage, the left side of your waist and pelvis, all the way down the left leg to land on your left big toe. feel your awareness on the left big toe. First toe, second toe, third toe, little toe. The left sole of the foot and the top of the foot and the ankle, the whole of the left foot. Calf and shin, the left knee. The left thigh, front, back and sides. The left buttock. Feel it. Your attention travel up the left side of your back. All the way up to the left shoulder blade. The left shoulder, the left side of your throat and neck. Your left jaw and ear. The left cheek. Around the left eye, the forehead, the temple and the top of the head, and the whole of the left side of your face, shoulder, arm, torso, leg. So you can feel into the whole of the left side of your body. Feel the whole of the left side of your body. And then let your attention travel across the midline again to feel the whole of the right side. Whole of the right side of the body. Both limbs. The right side of the torso, the right side of the face. Let your awareness now travel across the midline to feel the left side of your body again. Both limbs. Left side of the torso, left side of your face. And now as you bring your attention over to the right side, this final time, can you feel both sides of the body joining together on the midline? Feeling both sides of the body join at the midline. So as you breathe in, you can breathe into both feet, both legs, both buttocks, both sides of the torso, both arms, both hands, the whole of your throat and neck and face and head. And as you breathe out, you can feel the entire body through the midline sink into the earth a little bit more. Breathing in, feeling the whole body with one breath. And as you breathe out, feeling the entire body. Sinking into the earth. A little bit more. And just having a moment to see if you can feel the entire body, left and right, central line, sense of the whole body and the sense of the body sinking into the earth at the same time. Being aware of the whole body. Left and right, central line, the whole body and its ability to let go into the earth. Feeling them simultaneously. And so with that, I gently bid you farewell. So you can stay quietly relaxing for as long as you need.